right, guys. Tonight's dinner is easy and delicious. Everybody loves it unless you hate ranch dressing. But it's called chicken, or ranch chicken, I'm sorry. So it's just chicken breast. This time I'm using a thicker one. It's one of the reasons is because it's the only thing I had is the thicker chicken breast, but you can use thinner. It's 1 stick of melted butter, which I'm just going to put in the microwave and melt down. And then it's 1.5 cups of crushed cornflakes. I use this because it takes out the step of crushing them yourself. They are a little bit finer than opposed to you crushing it yourself. So whatever you prefer. But so it's 1.5 cups of this. It's 1 packet of ranch dressing, and it's 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. Basically, all you do is you melt the butter. We're gonna dip the chicken in the butter, and then we're gonna put all this stuff in a huge baggie. Put the chicken in the baggie, shake it up. You put it in a 9x13 pan sprayed with cooking spray. Bake at 375 for 45 minutes, depending on how thick your chicken is, but I'm probably gonna go about 45 minutes. Okay, I'll show you the steps in a minute. All right, so I put already a cup of the crushed cornflakes in here, and I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup. It's 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna show you how this is done. Give or take, it's a little more, that's okay. Just dump it right in. And then it's my packet of ranch. I'm just gonna open it up. And I'm gonna dump that in as well. And then it's 1/3 of Parmesan cheese. This is my favorite, the Frigo, because you don't have to shred it yourself, which I always like. So who wants to take the time to shred things? Not me. I'm all about convenience. Okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of close it up and kind of mix it up. So it gets all nice mixed. So you could do this in a pan as well, like a pie dish, and stir it up, whatever you got. You don't have big baggies, whatever. This is really, really, really good. It's just got a nice flavor. It keeps the chicken moist. It's really good. I don't season the chicken. You could, it would probably be fine if you did, but I don't think it really needs it. So, okay, so my butter is melted here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my chicken breasts, and these guys are pretty thick. And I actually pulled them out of the freezer this morning, so they're still a little frozen, but that's okay. So I'm just going to dip it in the butter like so. And then I'm going to put it in my bag. I'm gonna get the next one out. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I know you can't really see, my wonderful videographers have all decided that they have better things to do than to help videotape these things. So I'm doing it on my own. And I actually use a fruit holder as my camera thing. You know, it works, whatever. Okay, so we put it all in like that. And I'm gonna pause this and wash my hands, and I'll show you how I shake it up here in just a minute. Okay, so I washed my hands. I'm gonna have to wash them again, but I'm just closing this up really well, making sure it's good and tight, because you don't want to start shaking it and it go in your face. And I'm gonna just hold it over my baking dish in case it would explode, and I just shake it up. You know, you just coat it the best way you can. This makes it, you know, easy, fast, quick. These are big chicken breasts, so, but I'll show you what we do with the rest of the stuff. Just shake it up like so. This is another great dinner to make on a busy night. You could also use, like, because it's just so quick and easy, and again, everybody likes it. It's just a well-rounded dish. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty well shaken up, so I'm gonna reopen it here, and I'm just gonna pull each chicken breast out, and I'm gonna hold it up. You can kind of see how it looks, and then I'll give you a closer view here in a minute. And I'm I'm just gonna lay them in my baking dish. Again, I think I mentioned I sprayed it with Pam and, okay. Now, there's a lot left over. So what I do is I take it and I just take it by the handfuls and I sprinkle it on top, like so. You don't have to use it all, but it's nice, makes it nice. Gives it a little extra coating, like so. All right, and that about does it. We are done with this. I'm just gonna throw this out. So I have chicken everywhere. I'll show you the closer product here in just a second. All right, so here's the chicken ready to go. I'm not baking it right this second. I was just making dinner a little bit, preparing it a little bit earlier. But it's gonna go in an oven set at 375 degrees. Bake it, these are thick, so I'm gonna put them in there for at least 45 minutes. It might take closer to an hour, depending on how thick your chicken is. You just might have to check it. After about a half hour of it being in, you do wanna check on it, because if the crumbs start getting too brown, you might wanna put foil over it so it doesn't burn. And then we're also having roasted green beans, which I made a couple weeks ago. Just green beans, fresh green beans, salt and pepper, garlic powder, and some Parmesan cheese. Bake at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and some rice pilaf. And that's dinner tonight. Everyone have a good night. Okay, as I mentioned in my previous video, we are having roasted green beans. Just kind of wanted to give you a quick overview. I made this, I think, a week ago, but in case anyone forgets or didn't see it. So I just used packaged green beans, the organic kind. I sprayed it with olive oil, and then I sprayed olive oil on top. And then I'm just gonna take this real sea salt, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that like so. And then I'm gonna use just black pepper. And I'm just gonna go like that. And I'm gonna use garlic powder. Seasonings are great because you can really give stuff good flavor. We like garlic, so. And then I'm just gonna use some shredded Parmesan cheese. It gives it a nice, just a nice flavor to it. Kind of crisp it up a little bit. And then we're gonna bake these at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna make some rice pilaf, just the usual stuff that I make, and then dinner's served. I'd love to see what you guys are all cooking for dinner tonight as well. Send me a picture, send me a post, and say, hey, this is what's on the menu for us. Hope everyone has a good night.